defenders.
We are defenders of Zion.
We are the defenders.
Yeah.
We are the defenders.
We are defenders of Zion.
We are the defenders.
We are defenders of Zion.
This class right here is for unbelief. This class right here is for you and me. This class right here means everything. Everything that an Israelite needs to be. This class right here is for unbelief. This class right here is for you and me. This class right here means everything. Everything that an Israelite needs to be.
No one told us life could get this hard. Everybody failed except the Lord. When I feel like I ain't coming through, I see these issues don't apply to you. Had to change my path, change my ways. All of this heart attack don't last always. The most High make us kings to serve as slaves. I'ma be an Israelite to the grave.
We are the defenders.
We are defenders of Zion.
We are the defenders.
Yeah.
We are the defenders.
We are defenders of Zion.
We are the defenders.
We are defenders of Zion.
All right. Shalom. Most High in Christ bless to everybody that's tuning in. All praise to the Most High. We made it to another Sabbath. All right. And today's topic is Enoch, Jasher, and Jubilees. Are these books valid? Okay. The answer to the question is no. These books are not valid. We don't subscribe to these books at all, okay? We subscribe to the King James Version Bible, 1611, all right? And what we have here is we have a picture of the original table of contents for the KJV, okay? As you can see in the middle, you see the Apocrypha, you see the Old and the New Testament, okay? The King James Version Bible comes from the Masoretic text for the Old Testament and the Textus Receptus for the New Testament, okay? Some folks, you look at the Greek Septuagint, okay? But so far as the book of Jasher, Jubilees, and Enoch, these were not in the King James Version Bible. So now, let's open up with the book of Deuteronomy. Let's open up with the law. Deuteronomy chapter 4 and verse 2.
Shalom, family. Happy Sabbath. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 4 and verse number 2. Ye shall not add unto the word which I command you.
The Bible says, ye shall not add unto the word which I command you. Period. I like that. Right? Come on.
Which I command you. Neither shall ye diminish out from it, that ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you.
That ye may keep the commandments of the Lord your God, which I command you. This is why it's very important that you stay away from these three phrases. I think, I feel, and I believe. Stay away from that when you're discussing the scriptures. Because what that can do is that can definitely lead you to your own understanding. When the Bible says, ye shall not add unto the word which I command you. That's a law. Okay, let's go to Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes, let's get another law. Ecclesiastes chapter 12. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, and let's read verse 12.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, and verse 12. And further, by these, my son, be admonished.
It say be admonished. When it say be admonished, that means don't do it. Cut it off. Be admonished. Come on.
Of making many books.
It say of making many books. It say be admonished. That means don't do it. Come on.
There is no end.
There is no end. That means that you have books that are out here that are irrelevant to the scriptures. Read that from the top.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, and verse 12. And further, by these, my son, be admonished. Of making many books, there is no end, and much studying is a weariness of the flesh. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter.
Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Come on.
Fear God and keep his commandments.
So when you read in Deuteronomy 4 and 2, it literally tells you, don't add to the word, that ye may keep the commandments. Here you're seeing the same thing, it's just worded differently. These other books are not a part of the word of God, and if you take heed to these books, it's going to take you away from the commandment. And we're going to prove some of these things. We're going to go into some of these books, and we're going to show some straight up contradictions. Okay? But before we do that, let's go to the book of Isaiah, chapter 34, verse 16.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 34, and verse 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord.
The Bible says, seek ye out of the book of the Lord. Come on.
And read. No one of these shall fail.
No one of these shall fail. What is the word of God? Is the spirit of prophecy. No one of God's prophecies shall fail. Come on.
None shall want her mate.
It say none shall want her mate. So highlight that and put different books. There are no books that you can put beside the Bible to be its mate. None shall want her mate. Nobody's going to want anything else except for the word of the Lord. Come on.
For my mouth it hath commanded.
It say, for my mouth it hath commanded. Thus saith the Lord, it shall come to pass. Come on.
And his spirit it hath gathered them.
His spirit hath gathered them, man. All of the prophecies, all of the books of this Bible are compacted perfectly. Now, if you go outside of that, it will cause you to be tossed to and fro. And you will be a statistic of Deuteronomy 28:68. Let's start out with the unholy book of Jubilees. The unholy book of Jubilee. Let's start out with Jubilee chapter 2. And let's read verse 9.
The unholy book of Jubilees.
Come on.
Chapter 2 and verse 9. And God appointed the sun to be a great sign on the earth, for days, and for Sabbaths, and for months, and for feasts, and for years, and for Sabbaths of years, and for jubilees, and for all seasons of the years.
So now, you just read in the book of Jubilees that the Lord appointed the sun to be for Sabbaths, for months, for feasts, for years, for Sabbath of years, for jubilees, and for seasons of the years. This is what the book of Jubilee says in chapter 2. Okay. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus. It's a rock. This is red. This is a red flag, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you have here. This is a red flag. Okay. Ecclesiasticus chapter 43. And let's read verse 6.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 43 and verse 6. He made the moon also to serve in her seasons, for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. From the moon.
No, from the sun.
From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection. The month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven.
So what we opened up with today is Jubilees saying that the sun is the sign of feast. And from the sun is how we keep God's feast and Sabbaths. The Bible don't say that. So what would that be, ladies and gentlemen? That would be a contradiction to the scriptures. Number one, we still in Jubilees. Let's read chapter 2 and verse 1.
The book of Jubilee, or the unholy book of Jubilees.
That's right.
Chapter 2 and verse 1. And the angel of the presence spake to Moses according to the word of the Lord, saying, write the complete history of the creation.
So it say that Moses wrote the complete history of creation. That's what you're reading in the book of Jubilees. So when we read Genesis chapter 1 and chapter 2 and chapter 3, what we're reading about is the complete creation. That's what it say right here in the book of Jubilee. Okay. Jump down to verse 6.
Verse 6. And the waters did so as he commanded them, and they retired from off the face of the earth into one place outside of this firmament, and the dry land appeared.
So now, when we read in the Bible, where do it say that the waters retired from off the face of the earth into one place outside of the firmament? Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 1, and let's see. Because what it's saying in Jubilees is that the complete history of creation is in here. So we should be able to look at what Moses wrote and see that. Okay? Let's start from where it begins on the firmament. Chapter 1, and let's read verse 6.
The book of Genesis, chapter 1 and verse 6. And God said, let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament, and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day.
So when it say the evening and the morning were the second day, that's the end of that. Where do it say that the waters retired from the face of the earth outside of the firmament? It's supposed to be the complete history, right? Even though we know the Bible literally tells us some things are in plain sight and things are hidden. And some of the works of the Lord, it's never going to tell you about. But you're not reading that in the book of Jubilee. So the question is, should we be subscribing to the book of Jubilee after we reading these things about it? Because some of our people, they bugged out, man. They done got a hold of this stuff, and they just subscribe to it, and they ignore these. And some folks, I'm not going to say they ignore it. I'm just going to say they don't know their Bible, because a lot of people see that word firmament and they never learn what the firmament is. So therefore, when other people mention the firmament, it could trip them up. because you never understood it in the first place. Let's go to Jubilees chapter 15. Jubilees, unholy Jubilees, chapter 15 and verse 32.
The unholy book of the Jubilees, chapter 15 and verse 32. But over Israel he did not appoint any angel or spirit.
So the book of Jubilees say over Israel he did not appoint any angel or spirit. Okay, let's read the rest of that. It's ridiculous, man. Read it from the top.
Verse 32. But over Israel he did not appoint any angel or spirit, for he alone is their ruler, and he will preserve them and require them at the hand of his angels and his spirits, and at the hand of all his powers, in order that he may preserve them and bless them, and that they may be his, and he may be theirs from henceforth forever.
Okay, read that from the top one more time.
The book of Jubilees, the unholy book of Jubilees, chapter 15 and verse 32. But over Israel he did not appoint any angel or spirit.
Okay, let's go to Exodus chapter 23. Exodus chapter 23 and verse 20.
The book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 20. Behold, I send an angel before thee.
Stop, man. Okay, gracious. You read this book and it's like, yo, you don't understand that these are called contradictions right here. Read that from the top.
The book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 20. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way and to bring thee into the place which I have prepared.
There was an angel that was over the house of Israel, man. And that angel is Christ. There is a spirit that's over Israel. It's the Spirit of God, which is Christ. It's like, yo, it's called contradictions. You don't understand that? Let's move on, man. Let's move. We done with that, man. Jubilees, we done with you. Okay, let's move on to the book of Jasher. The unholy book of Jasher. Chapter 1. Jasher chapter 1. And let's read verse 12. We're going to save Enoch for last, because most of our people in madness subscribe to the book of Enoch, and it's leading them astray. Unholy Jasher 1 and 12.
The unholy book of Jasher, chapter 1 and verse 12. And the Lord drove them that day from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from which they were taken. And they went and dwelt at the east of the Garden of Eden.
So what we reading is that it's saying here that Adam and Eve, after they were kicked out of the garden, dwelt east of the Garden of Eden. Keep that in mind. It's telling you right here that Adam and Eve dwelt east of the Garden of Eden. Okay, come on.
And Adam knew his wife Eve, and she bore 2 sons and 3 daughters.
Where do the Bible talk about these 3 daughters at, man? Because according to these books we reading in Jubilees, it say that the full creation is in there. Wouldn't Adam and Eve's children be a part of that creation? It's ridiculous, man. It literally say here that Adam and Eve dwelt east of the Garden of Eden after they was kicked out of it. Okay, let's go to Genesis chapter 3. Genesis 3 and 24. Keep that in mind. It just said in the book of Jasher that after Adam and Eve were kicked out of the garden, they dwelt east of the Garden of Eden. Genesis 3 and 24.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 24. So he drove out the man.
So he drove out the man. Come on.
And he placed at the east of the garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life.
So now, we read in the book of Jasher, it said that they were kicked out and they dwelt east of the Garden of Eden. We are reading in the Bible that there were cherubims and a flaming sword east of the Garden of Eden to keep them out. So how the hell, after they were kicked out of the garden, is they dwelling where the Lord's flaming sword and cherubims is at, brother? Read that from the top.
The book of Genesis, chapter 3, and verse 24. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life.
The book of Jasher literally says that Adam and Eve were dwelling in the place that the Bible say they were kicked out from. That is a contradiction. Should we be subscribing to this? Let's go to Jasher 9 and 13.
The unholy book of Jasher, chapter number 9, and verse 13.
This is the unholy book of Jasher. Come on.
And Abram saw the sun shining upon the earth. And Abram said unto himself, surely now this sun that shines upon the earth is God.
Oh, bruh, this is not the word of the Lord, man. What they doing right now is they saying Abraham was an idolater. Come on.
And him will I serve.
Come on.
Verse 14. And Abram served the sun in that day, and he prayed to him.
Bro, this is blasphemy right here. Come on.
And when evening came, the sun set as usual. And Abram said within himself, surely this cannot be God.
Uh-huh.
And Abram still continued to speak within himself, who is he who made the heavens and the earth, who created upon earth? Where is he?
Mm-hmm.
And night darkened over him, and he lifted up his eyes toward the west, north, south, and east, and he saw that the sun had vanished from the earth, and the day became dark.
Uh-huh.
And Abram saw the stars and moon before him.
Come on.
And he said, surely this is the God who created the whole earth as well as man.
Come on, man. Come on, brother. You reading this book of Jasher, and it's saying that Abraham worshiped the sun and the moon and the stars, brother. Come on.
And behold, these his servants are gods, are around him. And Abram served the moon and prayed to it all that night.
Oh my goodness. Come on.
And in the morning, when it was light, and the sun shone upon the earth as usual, Abram saw all the things that the Lord God had made upon the earth. And Abram said unto himself, surely these are not gods that made the earth and all mankind, but these are the servants of God. And Abram remained in the house of Noah, and there knew the Lord and his ways. And he served the Lord all the days of his life, and all that generation forgot the Lord, and served other gods of wood and stone, and rebelled all their days.
Yo, man. You got brothers that's going to continue to read this stuff, and it is complete, utter madness, man. Good gracious, man. Let's go to Genesis 26, man. Good gracious. I can hear folk. Well, maybe he did worship the moon and the stars. Genesis 26 and 5.
The book of Genesis, chapter 26 and verse 5. Because that Abram obeyed my voice, and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws.
Read that from the top.
Genesis chapter 26 and verse 5. Because that Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, and my laws.
Why is it that, the Bible ain't speaking of this, man? Let's go to Sirach, Ecclesiasticus. Sirach 44. And verse 19.
The book of Sirach, or the book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 44 and verse 19. And Abraham was a great father of many people. In glory was there none like unto him, who kept the law of the Most High.
What Abraham do?
Who kept the law of the Most High.
Come on.
And was in covenant with him.
Come on.
He established the covenant in his flesh, and when he was proved, he was found faithful.
Faithful Abraham is serving the moon and the stars and the sun? Let's go to 2nd Esdras. Second Esdras chapter 3 and verse 13.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 3 and verse 13. Now, when they lived so wickedly before thee, thou didst choose thee a man from among them, whose name was Abraham. Him thou lovest.
Him thou lovest. So among all these wicked men, why did the Lord love Abraham? Is it because he was wicked as well? Absolutely not. Come on.
Him thou lovest, and unto him only thou shewest thy will.
Why is it saying to him only? Because Abraham was righteous in the sight of the Lord. Period. Gracious, man. And it's sad that, after we done with all these contradictions that we looking at, folks gonna still be subscribing to this stuff, man. It's really sad, man. Let's go back to the unholy Jasher. The unholy Jasher. Let's go to chapter 42. Unholy book of Jasher, chapter 42, and let's read verse 30.
The unholy book of Jasher, chapter 42, and verse 30. And Joseph reached his mother's grave, and Joseph hastened and ran to his mother's grave, and fell upon the grave and wept.
So as you know, this is talking about Joseph, Jacob's son. All right, come on.
And Joseph cried aloud upon his mother's grave, and said, O my mother, O thou who didst give me birth, awake now, and rise, and see thy son, how he has been sold for a slave, and no one to pity him. O rise, and see thy son, weep with me on account of my troubles, and see the heart of my brethren. Arose, my mother, arose, awake from thy sleep for me, and direct thy battles against my brethren. Oh, how have they stripped me of my coat, and sold me already twice for a slave, and separated me from my father, and there is no one to pity me. Arose, and lay thy cause against them before God, and see whom God will justify in the judgment, and whom he will condemn. Rise, O my mother, rise, awake from thy sleep, and see my father, how his soul is with me this day, and comfort him and ease his heart.
So as you know, this is Joseph, and what he's doing is unlawful. Okay, the book of Jasher is saying that Joseph is praying to his mother and trying to awake her from the grave. Okay, come on.
Verse 35.
Yeah.
Verse 35.
Verse 36.
Verse 36. And Joseph continued to speak these words, and Joseph cried aloud and wept bitterly upon his mother's grave. And he ceased speaking, and from bitterness of heart he became still as a stone upon the grave.
Mm-hmm.
And Joseph heard a voice speaking to him from beneath the ground.
Oh my God. Yo, and Joseph heard a voice speaking to him from beneath the ground. Okay, Ecclesiastes. Contradiction number 1. Ecclesiastes chapter 9 and verse 5. You can't make this up, man.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 5. For the living know that they shall die.
The living know that they shall die. Come on.
But the dead know not anything.
But the dead know not anything, man. How is this brother saying that his mom is speaking to him from inside the grave? She's dead. Read that again.
The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 9 and verse 5. For the living know that they shall die, but the dead know not anything, neither have they any more a reward, for the memory of them is forgotten.
The memory of them is forgotten. But what you reading in Jasher is his mama saying, "Hello, my son." How the hell she know that? That's a contradiction to the scriptures, man. Let's go to Deuteronomy 18. Deuteronomy 18 and verse 11.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 18 and verse 11. Or a charmer, or a consulter with familiar spirits, or a wizard, or a necromancer.
Necromancer, man. A necromancer is somebody that is speaking to the dead. That's against the law, man.
Verse 12 says, for all these that do these things.
Yeah, bring it up.
Verse number 12. For all that do these things are an abomination unto the Lord. And because of these abominations, the Lord thy God doth drive them out from before thee.
Man, you can't make this up, man. Let's go to back to Ecclesiasticus. Sirach chapter 49 and let's read verse 15.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, or the book of Sirach, chapter 49 and verse 15. Neither was there a man born like unto...
Read that from the top.
Neither was there a man born...
A young man. You gonna say that?
Nope.
Read on there.
Neither was there a man born like unto Joseph, a governor of his brethren, a stay of the people, whose bones were regarded of the Lord.
Oh, man, you got these books, man. And what they're doing is they're putting these sins on our forefathers when the Bible don't say nothing about that. That's an issue. That's a problem. Right? It say Joseph's bones was regarded of the Lord. Okay? That means that when we left the land of Egypt, his bones were taken. Moses took his bones with us out of the land of Egypt. But you got these books saying these things, and either A, is not here, or the Bible is literally telling you the direct opposite. These are contradictions. One after the other, man. We done. Let's go to let's move on to the book of Enoch. Lord Jesus. The good old book of Enoch. The unholy book of Enoch. Let's open up with Enoch 68. Complete madness. Reason we did Enoch last because a lot of our people subscribe to Enoch. We're going to make you watch the whole class. Enoch 68. And let's read verse 26.
The unholy book of Enoch, chapter 68, and verse 26. By this oath, the sea has been formed, and the foundation of it. During the period of its fury, he has established the sand against it, which continues unchanged forever.
So, unchanged forever, what this is saying is that the way that the sea operates, the Lord set a commandment, and it stays that way forever. Okay, come on.
During the period of its fury, he has established the sand against it, which continues unchanged forever. And by this oath, the abyss has been made strong, nor is it removable from its station forever and ever.
Nor is it removable from its station forever and ever. So recognize what it's saying right here. What Enoch is telling you is that the Lord's creations that he has set, they go along with this commandment forever and ever. Okay, come on.
Verse 28. By this oath, the sun and moon complete their progress, never swerving from the command given to them forever and ever.
So it say that the sun and moon never swerving from the command given to them forever and ever. Okay, let's go to the book of Joshua. Joshua chapter 10. And verse 12. You know, people that study know exactly where we was going before we went here.
Yeah.
And it's sad, man. It's sad that, you know, folks subscribe to this mess. The book of Enoch said that the sun and moon go off of the same commandment from the beginning forever and ever. Read.
The book of Joshua, chapter 10, and verse 12. Then spake Joshua to the Lord in the day when the Lord delivered upon the Amorites before the children of Israel. And he said in the sight of Israel, Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon.
Sun, stand thou still upon Gibeon. The sun stopped from its command. Read.
And thou moon in the valley of Ajalon.
Uh-huh.
And the sun stood still.
And the what?
And the sun stood still.
No, it went with the commandment forever and ever.
And the sun stood still.
That is a contradiction, man. Gracious. Am I tripping? Read that from the top, man.
Verse 13.
Uh-huh.
And the sun stood still.
Uh-huh.
And the moon stayed until the people had avenged themselves upon their enemies.
Uh-huh.
Is not this written in the book of Jasher?
So here you go, right here. Our people see this and they lose their mind, man. If you got a problem with this, reach out to me and I'll show you in the King James Version Bible where this is at. Read.
So the sun still stood still in the midst of heaven and hasted not to go down about a whole day.
So what you're reading here, whether you like it or believe it or not, the book of Enoch says that the sun and the moon go continually under the same commandment. But what we're reading in the book of Joshua is that they both stood still. That's a contradiction, man. Let's go back to the unholy book of Enoch. The unholy book of Enoch. And let's read. Let's go to Enoch chapter 8. And let's read. Let me see. Let me see. Enoch 8 and 7.
The unholy book of Enoch, chapter 8 and verse 7. Tamiel taught astronomy.
Tamiel taught astronomy. This is a short scripture right here. And it's specifically naming Tamiel, and it's saying that he taught astronomy. This is concerning the beginning. Let's go to Genesis chapter 4. And let's see if this lines up with the Bible, or is this a contradiction? Genesis 4 and verse 22.
The book of Genesis, chapter 4 and verse 22. And Zillah, she also bare Tubal-Cain, and an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. And the sister of Tubal-Cain was Naamah.
So we read in the book of Enoch, and it's talking about Tamiel. But now we're reading in the Bible, and it's talking about Tubal-Cain, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron. So you read in the book of Enoch, it's saying that this man taught astronomy. So if you know anything about astronomy, you know astronomy has 4 parts to it. And one of them is astrogeology, which is the study of rocks and fossils and all different type of minerals and elements of the earth as well. Not only of the other planets, but the earth is a planet as well. So that means when it tell you right here, an instructor of every artificer in brass and iron, that's a contradiction. Because it's telling you in the book of Enoch that Tamiel taught this stuff. But that ain't what the Bible say though. So what is that? What is that called, man? It's a contradiction. You can't make this stuff up, man. Right now, we got one of them brothers watching us right now, going on Google and looking up astronomy. Go right ahead, brother. Let's move on, man. Let's go to 105. Enoch chapter 105. Man, it's sad that we can do a whole class topic on the contradictions of these books, man. Enoch 105. Let's read verse 1.
The unholy book of Enoch, chapter 105 and verse 1. After a time, my son Methuselah took a wife for his son Lamech. She became pregnant by him and brought forth a child, the flesh of which was as white as snow.
Oh my goodness. This junk just said that Lamech's child flesh was white as snow, sir. Let's go to Genesis chapter 5 and verse 30.
The book of Genesis, chapter 5 and verse 30.
Let's give everybody a little bit of time to get there, because the unholy book of Enoch say that Lamech's child flesh was white as snow. Okay, bring it out, brother.
Verse 30. And Lamech lived after he begat Noah.
Who is his son?
Noah.
Who is his child?
Noah. Begat Noah 595 years, and begat sons and daughters.
Lamech's child that is talking about in Enoch is Noah. So, sir, bam. The book of Enoch tell you that Noah was a white man. Good gracious. You can't make this stuff up, man. Noah was a son of God, man. From the dust of the ground, man. why are we reading in the book of Enoch that Noah was a white man? You subscribe to that? You believe that? Even the so-called white man know that Noah's son produced the progenitor of the dark races. This man had children that produced the Ethiopians and the Egyptians, brother. Why does the book of Enoch say he was a white man? Our people, man. Our people get real simple on us, man. Let's go to Enoch, the unholy Enoch, chapter 19. Man, we could do this all day, man. We could do this all day, man. Enoch, chapter 19, and verse 3.
The unholy book of Enoch, chapter 19, and verse 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I, Enoch, I alone saw the likeness of the end of all things, nor did any human being see it as I saw it.
So what we reading, let me just clear it up for you, is Enoch is saying that he's the only one who has seen the end. Okay, let's go to the book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 14, and verse 3. Good gracious.
The book of 2nd Esdras, chapter 14, and verse number 3.
Mm-hmm.
Then said he unto me, in the bush, I did manifestly reveal myself unto Moses, and talked with him when my people served in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
And I sent him, and led my people out of Egypt,
Mm-hmm.
and brought him up to the mount of Sinai, where I held by me a long season,
Uh-huh.
and told him many wondrous things, and shewed him the secrets of the times, and the end,
And the what?
and the end,
And the what?
and the end,
And the what?
and the end, and commanded him, saying,
Come on.
these words shalt thou declare, and these shalt thou hide.
So you got the book of Enoch saying that he was the only one that seen the end. But now we reading in the Bible that that's not true, man. There are many prophets throughout this Bible that have seen the end. John seen it. Daniel seen it. Habakkuk seen it. We don't even need to go back to that, man. Let's move on, man. Let's go to Enoch chapter 7. Enoch chapter 7. And let's read verse 1.
The unholy book of Enoch, chapter 7, and verse 1. It happened after the sons of men had multiplied in those days, that daughters were born to them, elegant and beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
And when the angels, the sons of heaven,
Now, keep in mind what it's saying right here. This is talking about the angels, the sons of heaven. So they're implying that these are the angels that are in heaven with the Most High. Okay, keep that in mind. Read verse 2 from the top.
and when the angels, the sons of heaven, beheld them, they became enamored of them, saying to each other, come, let us select for ourselves wives from the progeny of men, and let us beget children.
Mm-hmm.
Then their leader, Samyaza, said to them, I fear that you may perhaps be indisposed to the performance of this enterprise,
Mm-hmm.
and that I alone shall suffer for so grievous a crime. But they answered him and said, we all swear
Come on.
and bind ourselves by mutual execrations, that we will not change our intention, but execute our projected undertaking.
Mm-hmm.
Then they swore all together, and all bound themselves by mutual execrations. Their whole number was 200, and descended upon Ardis, which is the top of Mount Armon. That mountain therefore was called Armon, because they had sworn upon it, and bound themselves by mutual execrations.
Jump down to verse 10.
Verse 10. Then they took wives, each choosing for himself, whom they began to approach, and with whom they cohabited, teaching them sorcery, incantations, and the dividing of roots and trees. And the women conceiving brought forth giants.
So let me just clear up what we're reading here. The book of Enoch is saying that the angels from heaven came down to the earth, had intercourse with the daughters of men, and they produced the giants that we read about. Right? Okay. Now that we understand that, let's see if the Bible lines up with this. Okay? Let's go to Genesis. Let's see if the Bible line up with this. Genesis chapter 6 and verse 1.
The book of Genesis, chapter 6 and verse 1.
Mm-hmm.
And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, that they were fair, and they took them wives of all which they chose.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the sons of God came unto the daughters of men.
So now, the book of Enoch is saying that these are angels that came down and slept with the daughters of men, and they produced the giants. So the real question that what we're reading in the Bible is, who specifically are these sons of God? Now, if you can prove that these sons of God are the angels from heaven, then you got something there. But if the Bible say that the sons of God are the sons of Adam, then you have a problem. Then you have a contradiction, my friend. Let's go to the book of Luke chapter 3. Luke chapter 3, and let's read verse 35. Let's start at verse 35.
The book of Luke, chapter 3, and verse 35. Which was the son of Saruk, which was the son of Raguel, which was the son of Phelek, which was the son of Heber.
Now, if you start from the top, what you're going to see is that this is a lineage, and it starts from Christ, and then it begins to go on down through Christ's lineage. Okay, continue.
Which was the son of Selah, which was the son of Canaan, which was the son of Arphaxad, which was the son of Shem, which was the son of Noah, which was the son of Lamech, which was the son of Methuselah, which was the son of Enoch, which was the son of Jared, which was the son of Melil, which was the son of Canaan, which was the son of Enos, which was the son of Seth, which was the son of Adam, which was the son of God.
Oh, Houston, we have a problem. The Bible is showing you a specific lineage, and it's telling you that Adam is a son of God. So if you try to say that the sons of God are angels, you would be not lining up with the scriptures. Why is that? Because we supposed to be blameless, right? We supposed to be blameless in this truth. And who are the ones that are trying their best to be blameless? The Israelites, the sons of God, man. Let's go to the book of Philippians. Let's see if we supposed to be blameless. Right? Right? Let's go to Philippians chapter 2 and verse 15, though. Philippians chapter 2 and verse 15. Let's see. We'll read verse 14 first. Philippians 2 and verse 14.
The book of Philippians, chapter 2 and verse 14. Do all things without murmurings and disputings.
Now, who is this talking about? Who is this addressing right here? You dweeb. Read.
That ye may be blameless.
That ye may be blameless. Read.
And harmless. The sons of God.
Who?
The sons of God.
Houston, we have a problem. Come on.
Without rebuke. In the midst of a crooked and perverse nation.
These sons of God are the nation of Israel. Man. Come on.
Among whom ye shine as lights in the world.
Among whom ye shine as lights in the world, man. This don't have nothing to do with no angels from heaven. Man, let's go to Psalms real quick, man. You can't make this stuff up, man. All right, let's see. Let's see something real quick. Let's see. Let me grab this real quick. Psalms 103 and verse 20.
The book of Psalms, chapter 103 and verse 20. Bless the Lord.
Bless the Lord. Come on.
Ye his angels. That excel in strength. That do his commandments.
That what?
That do his commandments.
That what, brother?
That do his commandments.
The angels of the Lord are in complete order. What part of that don't you understand? These angels are before the presence of the Most High, man. The almighty power. You think they breaking commandments, bro? You think that God's angels are breaking his commandments? Read that again.
The book of Psalms, chapter 103 and verse 20. Bless the Lord, ye his angels, that excel in strength, that do his commandments, hearkening unto the voice of his word.
Let's go to 1 Corinthians 15. Man, you can't make this up, man. You got the book of Enoch talking about the Lord's angels, his holy angels, done came down here and had intercourse with the heathen, bro, and produced some giants. When the Bible tell you that the sons of God are the sons of Adam, it's a lineage. We reading it. Let's go to the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 15 and verse, let's see where I want to start at. This the nail in the coffin for that mess. 1 Corinthians 15 and verse 36.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 15 and verse 36.
Let's go through this real quick. Come on.
Thou fool.
Thou fool, you ignorant. Come on.
That which thou sowest is not quickened, except it die.
You don't reap the benefits of something until it's put in the ground, and then it raises up that seed. Come on.
And that which thou sowest.
Thou which thou sowest. Come on.
Thou sowest not that body.
Thou sowest not that body. You put in a seed. You don't put in the entire plant. Come on.
That shall be. But bear grain. It may chance of wheat or of some other grain.
You have to put it in the ground first for it to grow into that plant. Come on.
But God giveth it a body as it hath pleased him, and to every seed his own body.
To every seed his own body. That means that different plants have different seeds. Different creations have different bodies, sir. That's what we reading. Read.
All flesh is not the same flesh.
All flesh is not the same flesh. Read.
But there is one kind of flesh of men.
There is a certain kind of flesh for men. Come on.
Another flesh of beasts.
Another flesh of beasts. If I get down with a lioness, we gonna have cubs, brother? Read.
Another of fishes.
If you get down with a fish, is you gonna have little white fishes walking around? Little cods and trout? Read.
And another of birds.
And if you get down with a cardinal, brother, is you gonna have some little cardinalettes? Absolutely not. All flesh is not the same flesh, brother. Read.
There are also celestial bodies.
Oh, there are also celestial bodies, heavenly bodies. Read.
And bodies terrestrial.
What is this showing you, sir? That the flesh of angels and of men are two different flesh. Read.
But the glory of the celestial is one, and the glory of the terrestrial is another.
At the end of the day, the Bible says it's impossible for heavenly angels to come down here and impregnate women, brother. The book of Acts, chapter 5 and verse 29, man. We done with this, man. We don't want to hear nothing else about these books, man. Straight up.
The book of Acts, chapter 5 and verse 29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey God rather than men.
And that's exactly what we're going to do, man. We're going to obey God rather than men every single day, man. And with that, we say,
Shalom.
Shalom.